Okay, that was quick. All right, we've got the first match here. Like the seek was just played, and then bam, nqeron versus NohatCoder right here, going adjacent corners and mirror with a very quick deviation from the mirror from NohatCoder. Going for this diagonal defense. Interesting. Going for a little bit more mirror action going on. All right. So this is just, I mean, mere minutes. I think 20 minutes or so after nqeron just finished his match with Fwib. And so if you don't want to know the result of that, yeah, I just won't talk about it. But there were some good games. Good games. All right, so we're seeing this sort of stairway pattern from White. Ooh, great cap positioning from White. Fantastic. So we see he has this strong spot going north, going west, east, so horizontal and vertical. There, I'm going to use those instead. He can capture both spots. He can cut off and be offensive. He can continue to go in all different directions. Great spot for White's capstone. Um, Black's capstone is going to be interesting when we see it played. He might be waiting for a recapture situation. Nope, he's waiting for that. All right, so now Black has a great capstone spot too, because this is the power zone for White right now. And so he can come across, he might be sort of baiting this into be a recapture so he can get it with his capstone. If that's the case, then his capstone would have a lot more power than White's and a lot more opportunities. White's going to build around it, maybe save that for his last move of his road threat. Because White could capture down here. It'd be interesting to see what Black does if that's the case. Because if he captures down, there's that threat. Then I can see Black coming across or down here to capture C4. To basically force this to be a linchpin spot for Black's threat to cause him to basically force that capture to happen so Black can capture up with his capstone and get more power with it. Then we see White saying, okay, I'll try to come around here, basically preempt what you're doing. I know you want to do this. I know you want to play around these spots right here, and so I'm going to play around it so I can maybe cut you off from doing that. Black saying, all right, fine, you're not taking my bait. I'll come across already. Cut you off. Now, this is available to be taken. Probably won't though. It's probably better for White to start placing more. Maybe even place here. Oh, so he's going across. He's really committing to this sort of vertical threat that he's got going on right now, which I think is interesting because Black's all over it. There's really not much that White can do here that's not immediately blocked by Black. Okay, okay. Black building his own vertical threat, White coming across immediately, and then Black going for the immediate recapture. They're playing very quickly. We've got, I mean, they've both just been playing in the increment and playing quickly too, because the matches are 10 minutes with a 15-second increment, and they're both at over 11 minutes in time. Nohat almost has 12 minutes, so they've been playing very quickly, much quicker than 15 seconds per turn on average. White's got a pretty solid position here, though. I like that White has a lot of opportunities to move in different directions, east-west and north-south. Black is really spread out, doesn't really have any concentrated power anywhere. I mean, the capstone is in a good spot, but like, it's not that great in terms of where he's got his other pieces. He's starting to consolidate a little bit down here, but yeah, White is really pushing the momentum here and pushing for position a little bit more than Black, which is again to be expected because it's White has that initial push momentum. Now, white can do a number of things here. White can play maybe at e5, might maybe play down here below. Over there is also an equally good move. Again, playing across for this horizontal threat. Yeah, I mean that's solid. Good positioning there. Yeah, it really just feels like black is really behind. Um, I mean, that can change very quickly, but it does seem that way. And Karen's playing really well today. He played some solid games against Fwib, and now we're seeing him come back just 20 minutes after playing those matches to playing here. Okay, so we see black continuing his vertical threat here, and white immediately cuts it off. White does not, however, have a tack threat right now. It's important to note. It's very close to one, but no tack threat right now. Now, it might be tempting for black to come down with his capstone, but then it'd just get filled in by white here at c4, which would create a vertical threat. So white's got great positioning right here. Um, he's not forced to make any move to stop this right now because it's not a tack threat. So he can place a wall here ready to capture up. It's a good move. Because he can capture here and then throw across. Because yes, this is tack now. Okay, so he's gotten that taken care of. No more tack threat from white. It was a solid wall because there wasn't really anything he could do to stop that wall from taking this piece because he didn't want to move it anywhere because it would just end up being detrimental to him anyway. So now white has to deal with this wall coming in to throw all of his plans out of whack. Okay, that was a smart move from white. Not one that I was expecting because he doesn't get this white piece covered up and then this white piece covered up. It makes this throw move, this spreading out of this wall stack, a little bit less powerful. And so black instead has to change his tune and go for this straight vertical threat instead. I like this. I like it. We might see a B1 here from white to sort of stop that. But yeah, it's amazing how that one move right here, just a few moves back. So like white's in a great spot, great position, got all these different threats working at one point, and then boom, this wall comes out, and it's like, oh, just kidding, all of your plans are toast. And now, just a few moves later, black is in a dominant position. Now black has sort of control of where this game goes. Just the power of one wall. Nohat knows how to use those pretty well. I need to work on my usage of walls, but yeah, that was done really well. So we'll see how he uses this to his advantage. We do see that he has a captive and a friendly underneath here, and so he can move this to the side to open up positions. He can move it up and down to recapture after something's been captured. So he's got opportunities. Now white's playing up here because this is out of reach of that wall. And so that kind of cuts that off. If black instead chooses to take b5 and move it over to make his connection, which would be the connection here, a little bit more windy, then white's capstone has the opportunity to cut it off by going north. So there's that option. So we may see an a5 come over. We may just see a preemptive b1 being played, and then just hope that that sort of comes about here. Because if he has to capture down with this wall, then the wall can't capture up. Ooh, he's going the other direction, which is interesting, because you would expect, because, I mean, he could just fill right in with c5. And we are potentially joined by other folks here in this commentary. I think Arch Venison just joined, so he may be speaking a little bit to this as well. So we get the fill in, like I expected, so that's still that road connection. Potentially he'll have attack threat if he plays b1 by moving this wall in either direction. Now, I found that move c5 to b5 to be really counterproductive. I would expect a5 to move instead, but we'll see how this plays out. So we may see d5 come over to c5, but I'm not sure. Not so sure about that move. Because again, we're not seeing too much threat-wise from white. So black may just place at c6 and just keep working on getting more flats on the board. Right now, flat count is looking at, okay, so he does capture over. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So white is in the lead in terms of flat count. Black did just make this capture and has the opportunity to capture over, which would be huge. And it would be just straight devastating is what that would be to white. If white allows him to throw this over and capture it at b5 and a5, that would just be absolutely devastating. Because then he would have to play a wall maybe at b1 in order to salvage his positioning. So white's got to do something here or be ready to place a wall here at b1. He could just prepare himself or capture over and then hope that capstone comes up to give him opportunity to move his own capstone over. This is a tricky spot. Okay, so the capstone does go up with the full stack. He did take all 3 prisoners, or all 2 prisoners with him. Yeah, he took both prisoners with him to come up here. So he's got some mobility, but not as much as it would seem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can move 3 black pieces and leave 1 black in the same spot he's in. Now white does have an opportunity to build sort of horizontally here, but not much because of this wall placement. So black can just fill in here at e6 and then start going for this horizontal threat. Because he can fill in at e6 here and then use this stack power to go across. Because if he fills in at e6, he can fill in at a6 after that and then have this cap smash move or have this move go across after c6. Yeah, he's got opportunities. I'd say e6 is his best move right here because it gives him more offensive capabilities and he doesn't have to worry about white right now. Not really at all. So he is continuing b5. So this is interesting too. So b5 keeps this vertical threat alive, but also gives motivation for the capstone to come over, which I wouldn't think that black would want that. I would not expect that at all. White preempting with the wall on b1, like we pointed out earlier. Yeah. I see e6. It's just such a good spot for him because then he can take this horizontal. And maybe he's not focused on that right now. Maybe he's just focused on making this vertical threat work. Okay, so he's taking a6 instead. So that is attack threat going across. We may see e6 now after white blocks it with d5 with the wall, so he can't throw that stack anymore. But if he does place a d5, he can smash here. And the only real solution to that is capturing up a5 Yeah, capturing up at a5 is his only play. So that's a forced move, to which, what will he play? Will he then play c6 or will he play a5? Yeah, from here it's a good question. Will he play a5 or will he play c6? Or something I am not seeing. Oh, oh, could he have split this stack here? No, he wouldn't want to do that because then this wall would just come down and cut it off. Now he can place. Oh no, he wouldn't want to do that. Now, if he places at c6, this wall comes up. But if he places somewhere like here, okay, so this wall was now going to come up to d6. Hmm. I mean, black's still in a great spot, and he's controlling this game. He's forcing moves out of white. It just seems like white's scrambling at this point. I mean, we may see something like a1 or a2 out of black next, just to move this vertical threat. Okay, so as expected, d5 came up and covered up d6. That wall moved, giving you a little bit more angles of the board. So we've got enemy prisoners underneath there. This capstone again has a movement where you can move 3 spaces and place blacks and then leave a black behind. So he could move all the way across here to f5 and keep black, 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 black. But I don't expect that will happen. We may see something like, okay, so we did see a1 to continue this. I am surprised we're not seeing something like e4 here as well, because that's also coming down to this vertical threat, and then you can throw across with the capstone to make that one. So we see the double wall. White is not wanting nothing to do with this vertical threat. Okay. Yeah, and so we see some commentary from an anonymous person saying e4, just like I was saying. Yeah, e4 looks good, and then spread next turn. Yeah, it does look good with Tinue. e4 with Okay, yeah, there's potential with that. So if he spreads across and leaves some here, you'd see a connection and a connection. Yeah, so you would see a two-pronged threat if he did that, placed at e4 and then made the spread without any other funny business going on. Hmm. What is he doing with c3? Do want to point out there is a black flat here on c6 that you can't see from a lot of these angles, just because that stack is so high. So placing at c3, I don't know what he wants to do with that. Maybe he wants to move this down. And sort of keep this vertical threat going. But he's not looking over here, which is interesting. Okay, and the capstone does move. But yeah, White's just playing defensively at this point. White has essentially no options and no opportunities for a threat. I mean, look at the reserves of Black and the reserves of White. We're seeing Black is playing super offensive with placing and placing and placing and placing. And we did see in previous games, nqeron was doing a great game, great job playing these flats and pushing momentum and gaining initiative by just placing and placing and placing and not capturing too much. But Nohat has basically forced these captures out of nqeron. All right, so now we see the e4 move. Also, I don't think it would be Tinue if he spread here. Yeah, it wouldn't be Tinue if he spread here and left it, because then this wall can come over to e6 and stop that, those both prongs of that threat. Because the connection would be here and here, and so you'd be able to stop it with just that wall move. So I don't think it would be Tinue placing an if5 after. I'm not sure. I like to play out those longer threads in PTN Ninja so I can be sure, because otherwise I can't visualize that far ahead in my head. Okay, and so preemptive wall coming up, knowing what that was setting up. Okay, so nqeron saw it. He saw that opportunity for black to spread out and cover. I mean, black can just place at e5 now and make that threat. There's a attack threat just by placing at e5. And also keep throwing his reserves out, because he'll win by flats. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 flats from black, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 flats from white. So yeah, just place more flats, e5. Only 3 reserves left. I mean, white kind of has something moving here, but okay, maybe we'll see a placement here at c4, which would essentially pin that capstone and stop it from smashing this wall. Because c4 would do that, and it would move him towards having more flats on the board and getting rid of his reserves to end this game quicker. Now, maybe Nohat wants to look for a road win or a Tinue, since those are fun, but hey, a win is a win. Take it. So he does take the c4, pins that capstone, keeps it from smashing. And the wall comes here to stop this from connecting that way. And I think nqeron knows at this point that he's lost, because there's no way he can gain back those flats. All Nohat has to do is just place another flat and then place another flat, and he wins. And there's nothing that white can do to stop that. So there it goes. Flat in a place where it does basically nothing, just exists. And it doesn't really matter what white does here. Place somewhere. And that's the game. Nohat takes it. Smooth victory. It was a good game though, and nqeron played really well. But that one wall move, which was, where was that? Was that here? Yeah, that was move 18. nqeron dominating the board, really having lots of success, got all these options, and then boom, all your dreams are shattered. And so that just killed him. And that move was good. I liked that from nqeron. That was solid. I'm surprised he didn't immediately start to build up on his own vertical threat here, because I think he would have momentum over black if he had started playing up himself, because um, it would have caused black to react to that. He would have had to do something. Now, what he might have done was play e6 and then he could have that solid horizontal threat here, and the game would have looked very different if he had started building north. Maybe if he'd started building at e6 and then gone down. But yeah, he had some solid momentum there. But we shall see. Game 2 should be coming up in a moment. I don't know if they're taking any breaks between games right now. I know Nohat normally likes to. So I will pause the stream in a second. But yeah, I think that looks good from white at this position, but instead he decided to come up here and to basically work on cutting off this threat from black. And then this move coming over with this, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I would have liked better for a5 to come over. But yeah, that boom. Then we see it's just attrition and it's all flats. Okay. Ooh, next game started. Here we go. No need to pause. All right, so let's see how we open up. One in the corner and adjacent corners. Okay, Nohat. Typically I see people play in one of the center squares here, but the one closest to their own, to their anchor flat. And so that's a little different than I'm used to, because that allows black to place here and basically cut white off from his own anchor flat and connect his own to his own anchor flat. Seeing more mirrored moves. And I mean, black's got to do something. Like, what do you do? Maybe play down here at d1? I don't know. He's got to do something. Place, yeah, capstone on the other side, I think, is his option. Yeah, I think that's solid. That's a fine move. Placing there. We may even see d4 come over to c4 and just isolate that capstone. And so I think black is preempting that by placing it b4 so we can recapture, and also it works for him because he can go up. And white's like, all right, fine, you saw through my play to isolate your capstone. I'll just place my capstone right here in the middle of all of your action so I can stop you whenever I feel like it. Now white's made the first tack threat. We'll see the capstone come over. And this is a great spot here because black then connects. He's got the vertical and horizontal going at the same time, and then white's like, nah, I got you, bro. I don't know why I said that. I never talk like that. And then comes up with the capstone, stops it. And so black's like, all right, I'll build this horizontal threat now and work on keeping your capstone away from the rest of your pieces. Okay, more building around. Yep, black's position is solid here. I like it. I like it better than white's. I see black placing an a5, because otherwise white's going to place at a5, and that'll give him horizontal options here. Yeah, and that just works best for black also. It gives him more anchor points and more opportunities. So we may see a b2 from white on the next turn after black's move. That was unexpected. Still might see b2. And then we may see c1 from black here to have this capstone come over and connect. I like it. I like it. And I know how it's got to think, all right, what am I going to do to get out of this? Because again, this looks great for black. Like, black's got great positioning here. We may see, like, just like last game, if Nohat drops a wall somewhere to basically say, nope, I'm cutting off all of your threats, that would be just like last game. And it would be really interesting to see. Building around. Says he doesn't need a wall. Gonna go straight across. He can stop that vertical threat just by building around. Okay. I would not be surprised to still see a C1 be played here from black. Instead, we see the capstone come over. All right. And then the immediate capstone dropped over. Okay, so Nohat was expecting that move. He was waiting for it. Surprised Nohat. I'm surprised nqeron didn't play here, because that would just continue the threat. What is going on? What am I not seeing? Why does black not want to play here? That's confusing me. My thought would be that black would immediately fill, which would renew the threat. Whoa, white drops a wall. Alright, so he's serious about cutting off this horizontal threat. He wants to make sure black doesn't keep going for it. I mean, black can place here at f5 and make another attack threat, but he makes attack threat here instead. That's what I was waiting for. And maybe he was waiting to play there because he expected white to have a plan for that. But I don't know what that would be, because he's not going to capture back over with his capstone, because that just leaves room for him to place here again. I can definitely see him coming across, maybe, with D1. Or D2, sorry. D2 coming to C2. Or maybe even just placing at C1. Okay, so he goes down instead. Okay. Alright. See what you're doing, kinda. We could see a fill here, or we could see a B1 if he wants to push this threat. Instead he goes here. Okay. Interesting. So it does keep this going horizontally. Now white could play here at E4, stop this. I still really like black's position. It's good. See that? Okay. That's expected. Now he's got attack threat playing. Black can make attack threat by playing at F5 or F4 here on his next turn, because either one of these captures would be a threat. Now I wonder if white's going to preempt that by placing in one of these spots, or if he's going to go for something else, because he can cut off those threats just by capturing down with this wall. But placing here is great for black because it gives him two sort of connections, just this really solid line of two. So it's like a citadel here and a citadel here, which are terms that we pretty much never use, but apparently sometimes we do. Okay, and so we're seeing that he's playing along here, and that works vertically, but now it's starting to get horizontal threats for white. So white can play here next, and boom, that's a horizontal threat by coming down or coming up or coming over. All those moves are viable to create a horizontal threat. And so black can make the first threat now before white has a chance to by placing here, like I said before, or by making any of those captures. Or make another threat and cut off white's threat by moving, capturing over with C2. C2 to B2 would make a threat and cut off, which might be what he wants to do here. Because we keep momentum on his side, he'd be able to do that, and then probably immediately play here to fill, because he wouldn't have to worry about attack threat from white for another 2 turns. Okay, so we do see he makes the first move here, making his tack threat, coming across, moving up. I'm going to assume that white sees this, and that he's going to block it somehow. How is the question? Okay, so he comes up. All right, yeah, I like that. Because that also helps him go north. Black makes another move and says, all right, here's another tech threat. And then the wall comes down. Now, we see a tech threat on the next turn from white. Will we see black fill in? Probably not. He'll want to do something over here. A wall here would be great. It would be devastating for white. Just play. Yeah, there we go. All right. So nqeron knows how to play walls really well to an offensive and defensive way as well, just like Nohat did in the last game. So this is a great spot because he can capture this, retrieve some prisoners, get back some more flat count, and cut off this potential two-pronged attack threat. Like, it's great. I like it. Also, all of this chat is from last game, so don't worry about it. But yeah, this is good. I like this. This is a great move from black. Great wall position. Now white's thinking, okay, he's just shut me down here, just like I shut him down in the last game with one wall placement. Similarly placed too. What can I do to get out of this? What can I do to sort of fix my problem here? Because he doesn't want to have to smash this. If he smashes this, that's just way too much power because he's got 3 of these black flats underneath him that he'd have to give up, probably right here, which is almost pinning, like he's almost pinned here. It's almost giving up a win to black because that would just be devastating. Ooh, he places a wall. Okay. So this is an interesting spot here because this is a powerful position on the board in terms of where it is in black's lines and black's potential lines. Black wanted this filled in for himself so he could make some more threats along this horizontal path. So this wall cuts that off, but it doesn't do nearly as much damage as this wall is doing right now. And it keeps this capture, so this wall also keeps this capture from being a attack threat. Okay, people joining and rejoining the Discord thing. Okay, so we do see that go up. I'm curious about this. So I don't know if I liked that from white. I think I liked this better from white. Because black may be wanting to smash this. And if white had placed here, it would have said, nope, you can't smash that because you lose. So instead we see E2 played. He's saying, all right, I'm just going to keep going for this horizontal threat. And black's saying, no, stop that. Here's a wall. Take that. Now, if we see that being played, that naturally, what we see at D1 here, like these 2 walls here have basically said no thanks to all of black's movements up here. And white's just going to push for this control because he's got like all of his pieces down here. And that's a lot to deal with. Will he play at C1 or will he play at E3? I'm guessing C1. Ooh, he moves the wall instead. Yeah, moves the wall instead. Interesting play. Maybe doing that for flat count reasons. Nohat is notorious for doing flat count moves. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So black is up on flats by 1. Yeah, he's up by 1. Now he can give himself basically +2 flats by leaving one behind and covering up this. That's a +2 flat move. And that's the only available +2 flat move on the board. Yes. Which would, I think, catch him up. Black just playing flats, saying I'm just gonna keep playing flats. Black hoping to flat out, maybe. White placing at E3. Yeah, I think they've both just decided I'm gonna play for flats now and not worry so much about roads. Which is interesting because, I mean, black still does have this vertical option that he can go for. I mean, it's easily cut off, but it's still there. Maybe he's waiting to make a move here until he can get some more flats on the board and maybe force some more capture, something like that. I'm not sure. But he's also going for a vertical threat here now, just by placing. Okay, so he moves the whole stack over. Not taking the +2 flat move, he's moving the whole stack over so he can make that +2 flat move do something for him in terms of a road. Move it down and cut off this vertical threat. Okay, I like it. But he might want to place down here first. Black making the preemptive capture, saying, nope, no thanks. I don't want to get covered up here. Give you a +3 flat move instead. No thanks. White placing more pieces, making the connection here with this wall piece. So he can move that wall off in either direction and continue that road. That's his anchor point. This black wall here means that he probably won't get that wall, but he can keep playing flats and maybe force some capture moves from black to put him behind on flats. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So black is up by 1 flat, and it's his turn to play. So if he plays 1, then he's up by 2 flats. He does not. So so it's 12 flats to 10, black in the lead. Now, Nohat can throw this up and cover, but that only gives him 1 flat and -1, so that's only +2. So take it to 12 to 12, but then nqeron would have the next move, which would put it at 13 to 12. So he's looking to be able to capture more than 1 black piece with it. So he wants nqeron to place here at F3, or he wants him to place at F6. If he places at either of those places, then he can make this +3 move to put himself in the flat count lead. And so he's kind of hoping that that's where nqeron places. Instead places here. Interesting. Ooh, I think I see what's going on. I think I see what's going on. He might capture. He might be trying to force this spot to be captured so he can smash it with his capstone and run across for a road threat. Because if he gets this to come down, boom, that's like a Tinue move almost. Like not quite Tinue, but it's a strong, powerful move. And so he wants to be able to capture maybe one of these stacks of prisoners with his capstone. At least maybe. I don't know. I can't presume to know what's going on in either player's head. But I think that might be what he's going for because he is behind on flats. As white, I will note. As white. And this is no Comey. And if you know what Comey is, then you know what I mean. No Comey. And if you don't know what Comey is, don't worry about it. I'm not going to explain it here. It's too much. Too much. Okay, so we see more placed flats from white and black. Both running low on reserves. I think they're even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6. I think that's 7 to 7. Maybe I miscounted this one. Who knows? It's hard to tell. Black. Okay, so now white can make that +3 move. Boom, boom. Which would be great for him. Maybe he's counting flats right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, man. So 12 to 14. So if he takes this and throws it across, boom, that gives himself a flat, which would be 13. 13 to 13, and then cover up. So put him at 14 to 13 winning. In terms of flats there. So he would be at 14-13 if he went up with these two. And now he's got this connection here going. He wants to do it. Oh, and now we get attack threat from black. That wall had to move. Knew it was happening. He can't smash that or white wins. Now I wonder if we'll see white come across here. Because if white comes across here, it gives black the opportunity to smash the capstone. Or not smash, smash with the capstone. Or if he'll come up and give himself the flat lead. Because he's got time. He's got time, 6.5 minutes to 7.5 minutes. They both have time to count flats each turn and to make sure they know where their standing is. That's another reason I like PTN Ninja, is that they have the flat count up above at the top where you can see who has the most flats, and it's like every turn it updates, which is fantastic. It makes that whole counting thing a whole lot easier because you don't have to do it. Washing dishes is much easier when you don't have to do it. Sometimes I amaze myself with how deep my commentary goes. Alright, so NoHat's probably thinking of this move, probably thinking of this move, because this is attack threat and would prompt a response of a wall moving. Whether it's this wall moving. Oh, so he moves there. Ooh, okay. Okay. I like it. So a new wall can't be placed. He can't place a wall here because that'll just get smashed and that's going to be attack. The wall has to move here or here to stop this threat. Or come across here, here, somewhere around here. I think these moves just get canceled, so I think a wall has to capture this. And I think that's what NoHat wants. He wants the wall to capture this so he can throw his capstone over and smash. And he'll probably leave 2 pieces here, 1 piece here, and smash. That way there's no direct win for black, and he can come across and win. I don't think that's Tinuay because the black capstone can come down and cut that off, but it will leave behind a ton of white flats. So yeah, I'm curious as to how this is going to play out. I'm ready for it. This was a great play. A lot of setup went into this from NoHat. A lot of setup. And so nqeron is trying desperately to come up with a move that stops this threat from happening without covering up this piece with his walls, because he knows what happens next. Yep, he did it. And he did use the better of the 2 walls to do it with. Now, is NoHat going to make the move? Is he going to drop 2, 1, and smash? Because I think that would be Tinuay. Yes. Oh, no! Okay, yeah. He can do that too. He can leave 3 here. Whew. For a second there, I thought he gave away the win. But he didn't. Good. If he had left 1 and 2, that would have been the win. But he left 3 here. That's fine. So I think it's still Tinuay, because he can go across and he can go down. Yeah. He wins here. The only move is to cut that off with this black flat, and then this white flat comes down, covers it, and then drops another one down. Yeah, that's Tinuay. Great win from NoHat. When I thought that he was essentially doomed to lose to flats, sets up a great Tinuay move. Makes it happen. Way to go. Nice moves there. And he has just enough pieces to make that too. Oh, perfect. Well done, NoHat. nqeron, you played a fantastic game, and I thought for sure you had this one won. I thought this one was going to be yours, but that was just a really clever play on his part, because he forced the move by capturing here with this particular piece, because I was expecting him to go this way, which would have prompted another wall here, and not a good move. But this move was brilliant because it forced it. He forced it. He knew that was going to happen. I think that if he had done stuff down here first, maybe with these flats, it may have ended up differently, because there would have been counterplays to all those moves, but it may have thrown off the whole Tinuay pattern. Who knows? But I am 99% sure that's Tinuay, and he saw it too, and he decided, all right, fine, take it. Take it. It's yours. Good game, both players. Well done. That was a great game. Well played, both nqeron and NohatCoder. Wow. Solid games. nqeron really stepping up. Solid games from him. I might have to reevaluate his skill level after these 2 tournament matches I saw with him versus Fwib. I think he might be a little higher in the rankings than I had previously assumed. Nice work. All right, and that is it for this match. These 2 matches, the match against NoHat and the match he played an hour previous to against Fwib, were instrumental in determining the top 3. They're going to be huge. This isn't the final round yet. in round 3. I think these are some of the last games of round 2. And in round 3, the final round, each person will play one single match, and then those scores will get tallied up, and then that will determine who gets first, second, third, and so on. And so, good luck to all the competitors, and I'm looking forward to seeing some more high quality TAC games like this one we just witnessed. Thanks, folks.